right, folks, so right in the middle of this mess, Lenny Dykstra, Ron Darling. Darling's book, 108 Stitches, contends that Lenny Dykstra, at one point before Game 3 of the World Series in the on-deck circle, shouted racial slurs at the starting pitcher, Dennis Oil Can Boyd, and he rattled Boyd so much, Lenny, that he had a home run that first at bat. Of course, Lenny has vehemently denied all of these accusations. Seems to be getting a lot of support from more Mets than Ron is. Guys like Kevin Mitchell, Darryl Strawberry, and a host of others. So yesterday, I put myself in the middle of it. Lenny got back to me. Very, very gracious, very stand-up guy. And he said, listen, Sid, everybody's heard from me, okay? How about talking to one of my best friends, a black teammate, also a dear friend of Dennis Oil Can Boyd, that no one else has talked to? And I said, Lenny, that sounds great. So Lenny Dykstra actually booked this guest for Bernie and Sid. He was a teammate of Lenny's for 4 years in Philadelphia in the early 1990s, including the Philly team that won the World Series, went on to play for the Boston Red Sox. His new book is out, In the Game. Here he is, former Philadelphia Philly, Lenny Dykstra friend and African-American ball player, Wes Chamberlain. Good morning, Wes. Welcome to the Bernie and Sid Show.
Good morning. Good morning. How you doing? Who am I speaking with?
Well, this is Sid, and Bernie is here, too. Bernie,
what's
say
up,
hello.
Wes? Here I am. So thank you for appearing on the show. And listen, you're defending Lenny Dykstra, your ex-teammate. Tell us about that.
Well, Bernie and Sid, I mean, sometimes things come down to the point where, you know, when you hear things, you pretty much, you know, you're not sure, but unless you really know the person. And the one thing in today's society with social media, everything is really like pretty much, how you say, carried out through the media, and then you pretty much, you know, have to defend yourself. So when it comes to certain issues and when people reach out to you, you just want to just speak on behalf of the person that you know, and and just, I mean, you know, I know Lenny. I don't know Ron. I know of Ron by playing against him, but I know Lenny. I played with Lenny. So, but, you know.
And no racism. No racism.
Nah, I mean, no racism.
Not only do you know Lenny, Wes, but you're also very good friends with Dennis Oil Can Boyd. And if Ron Darling was right, if Lenny Dykstra did, in fact, yell those horrible things, Darling even said worse than what Jackie Robinson heard, if that was true, you would have heard about that from Dennis Boyd, right?
Well, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I could speak, you know, on that, and then knowing Dennis from over years and over time. I mean, baseball is a fraternity. You know, it is a fraternity, like how all sports are, and everybody, you know, we all have incidents and things of that nature. So we hear things, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, this is what, 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I played with Lenny like over 25 years ago. And Lenny had a book, House of Nails, and I'm pretty sure this would have been came out. So,
no,
right.
We agree. Wes Chamberlain, former teammate of Lenny Dykstra with the Phillies. They won a World Series together. By the way, Wes has a new book out titled In the Game, about his 6 years in Major League Baseball. So let me ask you this, Wes. You're Ron Darling. You know, you're a smart guy, went to Yale, won a World Series with the Mets, had good years in Oakland, made a ton of money. He's one of the most respected baseball analysts in the game today, working alongside Gary Cohen and Keith Hernandez here in New York. Also works at TNT, TBS. Are you telling me that Ron Darling needs the money for his book so badly that he would lie about all this stuff about Lenny Dykstra? That doesn't make sense either.
Which is true. I mean, Ron's a very respectable guy. I mean, and so that behooves me. I don't know, man.
Right.
I'm shocked. You know, I'm saying, like, I just, you know, it's kind of like, I don't understand, you know.
It makes it all the more inexplicable, Wes Chamberlain, is what it does. And, look, I think Darryl Strawberry said it best. To kick a guy when he's down, even if he did do bad things, is not really good form.
Yeah. I mean, Straw's a very stand-up guy. I know Straw. I mean, hey, those guys were like my mentors. You know, Lenny and Straw. You know, I didn't play with Straw, I played against them, but I got to meet Straw and ED. So those guys, like, mentored me I was a youngster to those guys, and me and Straw had the same agent. So I knew Straw personally. Yeah, we had the same agent back then, Eric Goldschmidt. So,
right.
That being said, I mean, yeah, it's I don't understand, man. Like you said, we all went through ups and downs in life, and we all know Lenny's situation. And even though being able to reach out with him during the reunion and things of that nature, not that by him being invited with that 93 team, but still being able to speak to him and just hey, bounce back and you're still alive and you kicking and hey, keep going.
Well, let's wrap it up with this. Wes Chamberlain, again, former teammate of Lenny Dykstra. Lenny booked this interview. I didn't. Bernie didn't. My producer, Jill, didn't. Lenny did because he wanted folks to hear from a friend of his, an African-American ball player, who was going to say, I know Lenny, and there's no way Lenny said this. It seems to me, and you talk to Lenny all the time, Wes, that Lenny was really hurt by this. Really hurt by this.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, there's some battles that you pick, and there's some battles that you got to fight. And for dude to, this is the battle that, hey, that he's like, hey, he's just not going to take it, And I've read the articles and things of that nature, and I'm a guy that I'm not going to really step into it. So just being asked, I mean, hey, if he said it, I mean, and I haven't spoken with Oil Can, but just going from the wording of everything, and when I read Straw, he came forth, and I was like, okay, Straw said it. I mean, I stick with Straw.
I hear you, bro. And that makes sense. And again, as Sid probably pointed out, Oil Can Boyd himself said, I never heard it. So look, West Chamberlain, finally, Ron Darling is saying this morning, he's changing the wording a little bit. He says, I stand by all recollections. A little bit of Weasley talk, but anyway, that's where we stand now. And nobody I think, has corroborated what Ron Darling has been alleging, Sidney. But we'll see what happens. So, Wes Chamberlain, thank you.
Thank you so much, Wes. Go buy Wes's book. The title of the book is In the Game. And thank you for hopping on today. Thanks to both you and Lenny Dykstra. Thank you so much.
All right. You guys, thank you for having me.
God bless. Take care. 1-800-848-WABC. We're coming back to wrap things up in a great Bernie and Sid show. We'll be right back.